So today I'm going to be doing my 2026 remote viewing predictions video. I always love my remote viewing prediction videos. That's really my cup of tea. I love getting into all that stuff. But I want to just touch base upon a few things before I get into the video. I have the whole list of everything that I wrote for today's video. Number one, I'm kind of just like loving for a change doing a video inside my apartment. So it's kind of like a different vibe, but it's more of like a grounding vibe for me. So I don't have like a lot going on around me, and it's more just like concentrated on the information, especially for a video like this. I think it's a perfect change up. And then also, I only have one more video that I'm going to be doing at the end of the month. I'm going to be doing that video when I'm out in Joshua Tree, California. So it's going to be like a nice, I guess, bittersweet ending to 2025. So I'm going to do like one little last message going into 2026 video out there. But this is really the last big video that I have that I'm doing that I'll be releasing in 2025. So that being said, I wanted to, make this announcement that those who are looking into possibly wanting to do one-on-one sessions with me starting just after the new year, definitely, leave a comment so I know who you are, who's exactly wanting a session. Or the best way to probably get a hold of me is through my Instagram DMs, and I can obviously like exchange with my WhatsApp, because that's what I'm going to be like doing a lot of scheduling on. WhatsApp's pretty secure, so that's probably where I'm going to be able to like schedule sessions. And probably how I'm going to do it is do sessions through WhatsApp, most likely like a WhatsApp call, or I'm going to try to figure out secure face-to-face formats. Like obviously, like I don't trust doing what I do on particular, I have to look into like if I'm going to do like a FaceTime call, but not FaceTime, like secured platforms, especially if I'm going to be remote viewing and getting information for people and just like tapping into all like that stuff. I don't want to come across any weird technology stuff, which I have in the past. So definitely WhatsApp. I don't know, maybe WhatsApp has like a video feature. I just trust WhatsApp. It's like very secure compared to like other platforms. I'm not saying WhatsApp's perfect, but that's where I'll be communicating on for the most part. So my recommendation is write in the comments like, okay, who exactly, I just want to know like who would want to work one-on-one with like sessions, whatever, starting next month. And that's probably the best, so I know how many people, like, because I know there might be like, I'd say like a solid maybe 5 to 10 people that have asked me. So like I said, the best way to get in contact with me, comments on YouTube, but I'd probably recommend Instagram DMs just to get a hold of me. Sorry, I'm like so confusing because I don't like, obviously I'm very hard to reach. Like I make sure I'm very secured, especially with a lot of what I do. So yeah, but I'm sure it'll all work out. I just want to know how many are looking, and I'm gonna make it work. Like I said, I really ebb and flow. Like my intention when I work one-on-one with people is I don't tailor myself to doing one thing. I'm going to tap in with the individual and be like, let's both, co-create this safe space energetically, and let's see what's coming up for that particular individual to work on or to clear or to tap into, right? So that's why I don't tailor myself to just doing one thing, because as you guys know, I ebb and flow, right? Like I'm not just on one part of the spiritual spectrum. Like I can go from literally tapping into people's past lives, working with their guides, going through like angelic realms, to then like extraterrestrial stuff and conspiracies and agendas. So you guys know by now, like, I'm not, I can work with a lot. So that's why my intention is, okay, if I'm going to work with you guys, like, we're going to, we're going to get to the bottom of a lot. We're going to, like, I'm more of like a solution-based mindset. Like, we're going to work together and we are going to clear what we need to clear. I'm going to call out the bullshit that if there needs to be bullshit called out, right? Because I'm honest and that's how I operate. And I cannot say I'm helping people if I'm not helping them. And sometimes I have a little tougher mindset when it comes to, especially because I get flagged out a lot of the time on patterns and themes. So I always come about it in a high vibrational way, obviously. But my intention, obviously, is to help you guys, continue that healing. If you need a clearing, if you need a cord cutting, if you need whatever, I will be here to help and assist and tap into whatever your timeline, whatever you want, whatever is called to you for whatever, whatever comes up during a session, right? So that's my intention. I don't set myself to one thing. If somebody wants me to tap into their Akashic records, I'm going to tap into their Akashic records if that's what they're needing. If somebody needs a cord cutting, then I will help guide you through a cord cutting. So that's just my intention, especially when it comes to one-on-one sessions. So now I'm going to get into all of my remote viewing predictions. Last thing, I recommend, liking this video, sharing it with other like-minded people, just to maybe give it a little boost, especially because I feel like predictions are probably what people like the most. And I actually looked back at my last remote viewing predictions video maybe a month or two ago, and I hit the nail on the head with some of that information. So let's see, how this goes. Obviously, like I said, when I remote view, like, there's an infinite number of timelines. Use your discernment. Take all this with a grain of salt. Maybe only a couple of these things will happen. Maybe everything will happen. Maybe nothing will happen, right? Like I said, like, my intention is to literally just share the most probable timelines and the most probable predictions on what gets flagged out to me. And a lot of the time, like, I do use my discernment. Like, I don't just share everything. There's stuff that I don't even share that sometimes get flagged out to me because I use my discernment, and I actually have to go back. Like, I literally have to, like, use my discernment to go back and, like, literally correct the information I'm getting. Like, especially if I'm releasing videos like this that are like actual predictions, like, I don't like just say anything. Like, I have to get energetic confirmation. And that's why, that's how I gain my accuracy, and also, like, try to be as straightforward with this as possible. So like I said, like, take this all with, a grain of salt, and, just keep an open mind, enjoy it, like, honestly, these types of videos, I love doing these types of videos because I love tapping into timelines, and I'm sure you guys know by now, and especially, like, when I remote viewed even, like, the hurricanes, like, my intention for that was to literally shift out of that timeline by sharing all that information, and I shared all that information, and we shifted out of that timeline, except for that the Melissa one, I was literally on point, like, with the dates and the location. And I was on point with a couple other storms, but they ended up curving away from particular locations, like, last minute. So, yeah. And then obviously, like, if you want to see some accuracy that I've had with my other remote viewing predictions, probably just check out my one that I did 6 months ago. So with that, 9 minutes in, I'm going to get right into the video. Okay, so I'm just going to start with some, like, energetic stuff that came up. So obviously, 2026, I'm literally reading just from my script with all my predictions. I have so much written down. It's going to be a long video today. So grab some popcorn, grab a snack, grab something fun, because it's going to be a lot of information. And I hope you guys are looking forward to this because I'm ready to get into it. So just starting with some energetic stuff before I get into, like, more, like, bolder predictions. So what got flagged out to me is, like, I literally was able to like see almost like the collective timeline in 2026, and I saw that it is going to accelerate dramatically throughout 2026. People are going to be getting pushed into alignment more rapidly as outdated systems, patterns, relationships, and identities fall away. This acceleration is driven by the raising frequency of the planet and solar activity. So lots of solar activity coming in 2026, which I do have some predictions to make on that in this video. So this is all like forcing this rapid evolution in consciousness, which I've done so many videos on this, which is obvious, but I see in 2026 more than ever, like it's going to be rapid activations. So I have mentioned this, you know, that's coming. So, okay, this is important too. So 2026, for those who have done all their inner work, so that's trauma healing, that's healing, you know, a lot of karmic entanglements, right? Healing, really doing that inner healing work, getting to the root of all the karma and the trauma that we were meant to heal so that we could step into mission. Those who've done all that work heading up into 2026, we are in good shape. But those who have not done all that work and operating from ego and victim mentality and all these lower density frequency emotions, they are going to get a rude awakening in 2026. So that got flagged up to me very obviously. The raising vibration, especially with the 1 year, is going to bring suppressed emotions, trauma, and shadow material to the surface. This is not necessarily negative, but this has to happen for those particular individuals who've been avoiding, and it's going to happen to a lot of people in 2026 like it did in 2025. So this is to clear all that. So a lot of those individuals that are contracted to step into a higher frequency, higher timeline, higher level of consciousness are going to make that shift. The energy demands honesty, healing, and inner transformation. So a lot of people are going to be going through massive, let's just say, rude awakenings in 2026. So I also saw matrix identities are going to dissolve as the old fades away. The frequency of 2026 does not support inauthenticity or illusion-based roles. This is all from like what I've channeled and what I've remote viewed. So I kind of did a combination of channeling and remote viewing for this first part of this, what I'm talking about today, and then I'm going to get into more bolder predictions. But this is like just as important as me talking about an event that might happen. So to integrate the upgrades coming in, high vibrational ways of being are essential, meaning watching, are we reacting? Are we getting back into lower density emotions? Are we letting matrix-like consciousness, sneak back up on us and try to pull us back? It's so important in 2026. And I know it's hard for everyone, right? To really just step into our role of understanding and really holding this mastery frequency of knowing everything we know and just working through the polarity within the frequencies. And it's actually going to get easier in 2026 to hold a higher frequency for a longer period of time, because the polarity within frequencies, like, it's as more awaken and more question, like, it's going to actually benefit us consciously to like keep holding that high frequency. So I also saw like a global, so now we're kind of like brushing into like more like predictions. So a global wave of emotional and spiritual purging will be taking place. People release outdated beliefs, lower vibrational frequencies, stored emotional layers from the old cycle. The purging creates space for the upgrades and activations of this new timeline, especially over the next couple of years, and only aligned higher vibrational, ways of navigating this matrix, right? Not fear, not giving our power away, right? Not, not needing, some particular person to save us. When we have done our inner healing and we have ascended, we honestly are the ones through source that are saving ourselves in this system. And that's getting us out of this system. So we're not like waiting for some savior to literally, especially in 2026, especially if you're going through a lot of struggling. That's why this inner healing is so important, so that we could get that divine connection to source to literally just ascend us. And that's the years of work that I've done on myself, right? So important. It's so important to get to the root, to get to that darkest trauma, to get to that, really that rock bottom, and then just go up from there. And just brief, obviously, before I get into a lot of other stuff, I wanted to start my whatever I'm doing, my platform, whatever, back in 2022. And looking back at it, I am so grateful that I waited until 2025, because yeah, I knew all, like, similar to, if not all, the information that I know now. But I was still healing. Like, I was not healed in 2022. I wasn't really healed until 2024. And I'm still healing in 2025. But that deeper work that fifth dimensional healing work didn't start until 2024. I was still sort of in that third dimensional wave of healing that I wasn't able to bridge 3D to 5D as easy as I am now. So I'm just looking back at it, like, I'm so grateful that I waited, even until now. And I think it just shows, because doing this, being grounded while doing the work that I'm doing is so important. And back then, I would not be as grounded as I am now. And that just says it all, honestly. Like, I would not be emotionally able to handle all this information 3 years ago, when I wanted to start this. I just think it just would have ruined my credibility, honestly. So I'm really grateful that I didn't start it then, especially when I wasn't fully healed, because that frequency would have shown to others that I'm not ready for the work that I'm stepping into. So I think it's a little obvious now that I have done a lot of inner work and a lot of inner healing, especially since 2020. So I'm really grateful. This was the perfect year for me to start this. So I wanted to say that because, like I said, people are going to have no choice but to turn within, especially in 2026 during this new cycle. So now to some of the more in-depth predictions that came through via remote viewing. I'm going to start off with some weather predictions that got flagged out to me. So what got flagged out to me was a massive weather pattern shift around March of 2026. So I'm going to get into that. So January and February came forward to me as, it's going to be weird. It's going to be like, there's going to be like snow in places that like maybe wouldn't see a lot of snow. Like, I'm thinking like southern US, like not like Florida, but like Carolinas, Gulf Coast region, like they might get some snow in January or February. That got flagged out to me. So snow in areas that wouldn't necessarily see a lot of snow. And then I saw like in areas where there's meant to be snow, like in more northern regions, it's weird. Like, it doesn't seem like those areas get a lot of snow. So it seems like whatever's going on with this current weather pattern, like it was like this last winter. Remember, like the Carolinas got more snow than like the Northeast last winter. I see a repeat of that, especially in January and February. And it's already happening right now. I know the Mid-Atlantic and Carolinas are getting a snowstorm, or they did like a few days ago last week. And like in the Northeast, they're not getting like as much snow as like the Mid-Atlantic and the South. So I'm seeing like this weather pattern and it's going to be weird. It's going to be like places further south getting more snow than places in the north. But this is the second year in a row like this. So I saw January, February, very cold, but a weird weather pattern, like not anything. And I didn't get flagged out that this is HAARP. I got flagged out that this is like the pattern's about to shift. So it's almost like, there's different types of weather patterns. So there's typically an El Nino weather pattern and a La Nina weather pattern, and then in the middle, which is neutral. This is me. I've been really tapped into weather, okay? Like, that's why I can, like, discern if it's HAARP or not HAARP or natural or not natural. So, basically, the past, few years we've been in this La Nina pattern, which that's when the water temperature is cooler in the Pacific. And when the water temperature is cool in the Pacific region, Southern Pacific, by the equator, that region, it influences a weirder weather. Like the La Nina weather pattern is a little more unpredictable than an El Nino weather pattern. So we've been really in a La Nina pattern for a couple years now almost, but that's going to be shifting. I got flagged out to me around remote viewing. We're going to be shifting into an El Nino weather pattern, which is not as common as La Nina or neutral, because El Nino is when the water temperatures in that region are above normal. So when we shift into an El Nino weather pattern, and I tapped in and I saw that's going to happen between March and May of 2026. That is going to shift the whole like global weather pattern. And I saw that there's going to be a very significantly strong El Nino, possibly record-breaking El Nino developing early summer. And I saw this got flagged out to me directly. Summer 2026 becomes the hottest and longest on record. Heat waves will extend from May through October in the northern hemisphere. Winter arriving, so that's next winter, so later next fall, winter, arriving late. Like places that don't cool down until September, October may not cool down until November or December. So this prolonged warmth is going to be because there's going to be a weather pattern shift. We're going back to an El Nino weather pattern. There hasn't been an El Nino since, I'd say, before 2023. Or maybe before 2024. So, like I said, it shifts every few years, but La Nina's in the neutral. So neutral, it's like kind of in between. But the El Ninos are going to be when it's much hotter. So I saw 2026 will be the hottest. It'll end up being the hottest year on record. There's going to be like real intense heat. It's on northern U.S., especially southern Canada, the northeast region. So I saw like southern Canada and northeast record temperatures over 100 degrees a lot this upcoming summer. And I also got flagged out Northern Europe and especially the UK, temperatures above 100 degrees this summer. So that's very intense for a lot of those regions that don't typically have a lot of air conditioning. Summer 2026 will be rememberable for heat. And like I said, it's a slow cool down. So with the El Nino, this new shift in weather pattern, that pattern's locked in. It could be locked in for upwards of, 1, 2, possibly even 3 years before it will shift back to neutral. And then, or sometimes it just goes from El Nino right back to La Nina. Like it's I could do a whole deep dive on the whole weather patterns, which I'm not going to do in my video right now. But I just wanted to give just a quick sum up on when this pattern shifts. It's going to be very noticeable, and the heat is going to be wild. And it's not necessarily unnatural. This is a natural occurring pattern. Yes, it can be manipulated, but I'm not really seeing. I'm going to get into HAARP in this video a little bit, but yeah. Okay, so just be on the lookout. So January, February, cold, snow in weird locations that might not get a lot of snow. Less locations, maybe like in the northern US. Like it seems this winter is going to be very unpredictable. Very unpredictable, very weird, especially January, February. But March is going to be like, it's going to switch over quickly in March with that new weather pattern, and it's going to get warm very early. So I saw like warmth coming back in March, which is like very early because March is technically still winter. And then it's going to like take off, and it's not even going to cool until like November or December in some locations. So this weather pattern might really shorten, it's going to lengthen like the warmer season for next year and shorten cooler season for the following year. So, okay. So I also saw that strong solar frequency, solar flares are going to be impacting the US in 2026. So, we have solar flares like all the time. Like that's not surprising. Like they happen so often. But I saw 3 in particular that are going to be like G4, G5 storm or solar flare storms. The first one is going to be, I got a hit on February of 2026. The second one was going to be, I particularly got August. So I got like February, August, and there's going to be other ones, but like massive ones that could cause localized blackouts or like localized issues. So February, August, and then I got another hit on October of 2026. 3 significant solar flares during those months. So once again, these are just going to be warnings of like the flash event. So yeah, like we're gonna get hit with some massive solar flares that are gonna be almost like warnings for the flash that's really coming soon. So just keep that in mind. 3 we're gonna have a lot more, but I got a hit on a massive one in February, and then August, and then October. So those months, high solar activity of 2026. Okay, and then I wrote down the August solar flare is going to be around the eclipse in Lions Gate. So that got flagged out to me as well. This solar flare, I channeled some information about that. It's going to be overlapping with, the eclipse, and it's going to amplify. So the August eclipse portal seems to be very like potent energetically. Like I know there's an eclipse portal February and March, or February into March, but the second one in 2026 seems like it's going to be like very intense energetically. So that's probably why it got flagged out to me to happen then. So now we are going to get into some hurricanes. I kind of just went from weather to a solar flare to now we're going to get into like almost back to hurricanes and HAARP for 2026. So I saw for the second year in a row, it seems like the hurricanes are going to be getting almost redirected away from the East Coast. I did not see a significant landfalling hurricane. There might be like a weak hurricane landfall, but I did not see like a category 4 or 5 hitting the US in 2026. Maybe smaller storms, but I specifically scanned, will there be like a 4 or 5? I did not get any confirmation, which means that there would be the second year in a row that we would be almost spared. So I'm hoping that vision stays. Also, with the El Nino weather pattern, it kind of does slow down hurricanes. So that's a pro of it too. Also, we need to I know I've been saying HAARP is going to shut down in 2026. So I'm really curious, okay, when, I got they're going to shut down second half of 2026 because the white hats are moving in, which I'm getting into. But what are going to happen to these, rapid intensification devices? What are going to happen to or what's going to happen to those oceanic systems manipulating storms, or the satellites, or all that. Like, yeah, okay, the chemtrails are very, like, yes, they can guide low pressure systems, they can manipulate the weather patterns, they can guide in cold fronts and warm fronts with the geoengineering or the chemtrails, and then also just try and poison all of us, right? So, like, they could do a lot with those. What are they going to do with these actual manipulated, like, technology devices? So so I got that, yes, there's going to be less, like, manipulation with technology with these storms, but I think what we are all going to be, I'm just going to hold 1 second because I just saw what I wrote, and I'm just going to talk about that then. Okay, so like I said, like, we're going to be spared with these hurricanes again, it seems, for the U.S. in particular in 2026, which is amazing, because even if they, like, did do something in 2026 before they got shut down, so pointless, because we all know, like, it's like they can't, they can't, like, get away with it. So, okay. So I saw second half of 2026, white hats are moving in. Like, if HAARP does not cease and surrender to the white hats, and I got this information directly channeling the White Hat Alliance, they are moving in. So they are going to be moving in and taking over the facility. Like, and also while doing that, they are going to drop significant information. Somehow get it out to maybe mainstream about those operations. So, well, the white hats, if you guys don't know, they're basically the good people that are liberating a lot of, they work with the GFL a lot, and they're liberating a lot of trafficking rings, and also a lot of these other activities that should not be going on, like HAARP and other stuff. So I saw that the white hats are going to be, like I said, they're actively trying to get control over HAARP. It's a back and forth battle behind the scenes right now. So I'm really interested. Still got second half 2026, but also I got that there's going to be a global coming together uprising movement about the just the chemtrails in particular. I didn't get, like, okay, they're coming together over an earthquake HAARP might do, or some other weird weather event that HAARP might do. I got chemtrails in specific. People are waking the F up to these chemtrails rapidly right now, and people are pissed. And there will be a global movement with this in 2026. I said this back in June, and it's flagged out to me again. There will be a global movement to just spread awareness on these operations. Okay, I probably should have touched base upon this earlier in my video, but actually this probably is more of like a prediction on my end. So I saw that there's going to be, like, an increase in, like, psychic activations among, like, a lot of people in the population. And I saw an increase in third eye activation, like, emergencies, which really is when people have their third eye activations, especially if they're not grounded and rooted also within this reality as well, they will go into almost like a psychosis and need to, like, go to, like, a mental hospital or something like that. So I saw an increase of, like, third eye activation emergencies, especially with these solar flares hitting us. And there's going to be bigger, like, the biggest ones that I've seen that are, especially in our lifetimes, like, are coming in 2026. Not the full event just yet, which I'm going to get into. But third eye activation emergencies, especially when people have their third eyes wide open, and, like, either an entity is going to come in and wreak havoc on their life, or just that's why it's so important to be grounded, especially within the work that I do. When I, astral travel and basically leave this reality, collect information, come back to this, right? Like, a lot happens. And then sometimes, like, I have, like, deep encounters within this reality with higher dimensional beings even coming through, or just, working with different energies even in this realm. Because, like, when you're operating at a high frequency, you could bridge the realm sometimes, which is really cool. But that's why, like, if people aren't aware, people are having third eye activations, they don't even know they're going to go into, like, a what the Matrix calls a psychosis. So I saw an increase in spiritual psychosis in 2026, which I don't even like calling it that. I just call it ungrounded third eye awakenings. And that's why groundingness is so important, everyone. So I'm just highlighting that. Okay, so I saw in 2026, millions are going to be leaving their 9-to-5 jobs as they no longer resonate vibrationally. Like I saw, as the powers that were fall, as the old earth goes down, right? People are like not going to like want to participate in the system anymore, right? And I saw like there's going to be like globally, like millions of people are going to be leaving the old system, and that's amazing. People are going to be wanting to seek meaningful, soul-aligned work, and leaving these survival-based structures. So that's going to be so important, especially when we come together and form these new Earth systems soon, that like we have those people taking the initiative and leaving the old system and like coming to this higher, reality within this reality, I guess, and working, to form a better system. So that's going to be very important as well. So this one is actually very interesting. I saw like a whole downfall among religious institutions. As people within those institutions come to find out, especially in 2026, there might be releases of information. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to unfold. But when people realize that their religious institutions have been hijacked by the shadow government to get their agenda through the word of God, right? They're not going to be happy. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be like, so like, we were brought up to be in these religious institutions, and the shadow government has been communicating to us through the word of God. Like, it's going to that's going to lead people to like a breaking point of like, honestly, just like going through an awakening in itself, and then raising in consciousness, coming to know that there's more going on. And then I think a lot of those people will end up ascending in consciousness out of the dogmatic system. So when a lot of people realize, especially in 2026, I saw there's going to be it's going to become very obvious that like these religious institutions are like more like shadow government operations. And it's going to be very like, these people, particularly within these institutions, are going to feel so betrayed. Like they're going to be like, I believe, you know what I mean? Like it's just going to be very interesting. So definitely to keep an eye on, okay, when these religious institutions fall, which this is something that has to happen, especially before a global, widespread, like fifth dimensional frequency way of being exists away from the system. Like this is particularly like something that's contracted to occur. I just think that it's just going to be very interesting to see, okay, how do people handle like accepting that they've been lied to and that the word of God has been manipulated to like literally suit a shadow government Illuminati agenda, right? Like to get everybody on board to the conspiracy of this reality. So that's going to be very interesting. I also saw that there's going to be a full downfall of the two-party political system in the US in 2026. Specifically, I saw that there was going to be a mass like protest among people who would have voted for a Democrat or a Republican, like almost like everyone coming together and like protesting the two-party like Illuminati political system. Like the political system is run by the reptilian elites. So I think if enough people realize that even something's off with the political system, which a lot are questioning, especially in 2025. But as more and more wake up to the fact that they're both sides are literally just working with each other to push a clusterfuck of an agenda, then that's going to be when, like, both sides that's when that unity will emerge, being like, what? Like, they're literally working to push this transhumanist, like, 2030 agenda. And, like, don't forget, like, both sides just do their agendas to, like, reach, members of the population, to, like, take them in, to, like, bring them into the agenda, right? But it's all, like, one big agenda. Like, it doesn't even matter sides. Like, do I think that every political person has bad intentions? Absolutely not. I'd say there's, like, 4 that I, like, that actually wanted to fucking try and do something. And, like, for example, like, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, she actually tried pushing back against the Illuminati agenda, and look, like, now she's out. And that's so wild that happened, like, after I remote viewed all that, like, 3 days before it all happened, and that was just freaking mind-blowing, that, like, I got all that information, then all that happened, and now they're not. So maybe it's for the best she's leaving, so that, like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, honestly, I hope that when the new structure forms, like, she'll be included in the New Earth system, because I really think that she's here for, like, the New Earth. So her, particularly, I think is actually, like, has good intentions. And I also think RFK has good intentions with, like, wanting to clear people's souls of all these chemicals to, like, help them honestly ascend in consciousness. So, like, I admire that. Like, that doesn't mean, like, I love these people. I'm just saying, like, do I think everyone in politics is bad? No. But we're not, like, the New Earth politics has not emerged yet. Like, that's coming maybe, in the next 2028, not the cycle of 2026. Because we need a downfall of the old structure, and that has not happened yet. And right now it's still business as usual with the freaking Illuminati, like, reptilian, political system. It's so, like, they're not trying to help us. Okay, I just get so pissed talking about it, but, like, I mean, and, like, generally, like, just as a human being, like, you can't look at that like it's serious. Okay, and then so I see, like, a full downfall, like, people on both sides, like, protesting, like, not voting in 2026, being like, you guys are literally all just controlled, and, like, we're not voting for any of you guys. So I really hope people don't vote. I know I'm not participating in any election with old Earth candidates and all that. So once we get the New Earth people around in, like, a newer government, like, structure that's not a 2-party system, maybe I'll participate, but until then, absolutely not. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I also wanted to share, as the frequency keeps raising, there's going to be, okay, take it or leave it, whatever. We're going to see, like, clones glitching, like, so much easier. Like, I don't think the cloning technology is, like, adaptable to the solar flares. So I saw, like, in 2026, there's going to be multiple events where we're going to see either, like, a celebrity clone, like, malfunction to the point where it's, like, so blatantly obvious. I know it's happened before, but, like, I'm saying, like, clone malfunctioning, like, that, like, get ready. So clones malfunctioning, like, it's just gonna be, like, yeah, like, so obvious, like, with these celebrity clones, political clones. Oh yeah, there's political clones in the government, and I know exactly which ones are clones. I've remote viewed a lot of, like, random political people that, like, I've gotten intuitive hits that they're either reptilian or clones or whatever. There's not all, I'd say solid 5 to 10% of, like, political figures are either reptilian or, like, clones or, like, other non-human beings. But others are just pawns or taking, like, Illuminati orders, right? So, like, we're going to see clones glitching. So I do not see 2026 being near that a reptilian is going to shapeshift in front of everyone. I'm saying that still to be 27 or 28. So I did not get that happening in 2026, unfortunately, even though that would be amazing and I'm still manifesting it. So I did not see a reptilian shape-shifting in front of everyone just yet in 2026. We might see the eyes glitch. Like, I see the eyes glitch. I see the, yes. Okay. So that's just something else I wanted to add. So just have about 5 more predictions left to go. The next one is new Earth systems are going to begin to emerge. So as the old continues to fall, right? Like, as 2026 is really a big downfall year, new Earth health systems are going to begin to form. Education systems, financial shifts are going to be occurring, and a lot of more new Earth-based financial structures will be rising to the surface in 2026. New Earth technology, so like not low vibe technology, maybe some higher vibe technology emerging. New Earth higher vibrational spiritual healing centers for those who are struggling with, a lot of personal struggles. These systems carry higher frequency foundations and reflect humanity's evolution. They arise because the old structures can no longer support awakened consciousness. 2026 marks the quiet but undeniable beginning of these new frameworks. 2026 is the seed year of the new Earth system. Woohoo! We've been waiting for this. This is huge. So as this new Earth system emerges, we're going to have new Earth job opportunities available. We're going to have new Earth living communities available, right? Like, the new Earth shift is going to become so mainstream to the point where, like, we're going to maybe start feeling that mainstreamness next year, which is remarkable. Okay. Next, I want to touch upon, I know I just shifted, it's a very sensitive topic, so we're going to touch upon trafficking. Okay. Whew. So I first got information on the whole Adrenochrome operation, and it's so hard for me to talk about. It's so upsetting. But back in 2021 or 2020, and especially when I've been helping, people with clearing a lot of past life stuff and all that, I have come across some people who have been victimized by this operation in past lifetimes. And I have a lot more that I'm going to talk about this operation next year when I do a whole series on this, trafficking and also manipulation of other things that I'm not going to get into right now. But that's a series that I want to do next year. And how, what the elite do is when they traffic, they create so much karma, create so much trauma as they get their components from the soul, which is the Adrenochrome. When they do all these rituals, it's run by typically satanic reptilians. So it's like, they like worship. I've remote viewed, honestly, sometime I'm going to do a whole video on this and like wild stuff that I've remote viewed. And also just that, I have like other stories that I want to share from like certain stuff that I've done, through all that type of work. But so the Adrenochrome stuff is, it gets so deep. It's like the core of this reality. Like, think about it. Why are extraterrestrials so covered up? Why is trafficking so covered up? Because literal interdimensional reptilian beings are like needing the ritual done on innocent souls. Okay, to like get their component. Oh my God, I'm just hoping people are gonna that this information will get to people one day. But I know people freak out if you talk about that, and they call it, I don't understand, they call it a conspiracy theory, but I don't know. For me, it's I've seen all this, right? I've gotten direct links to a lot of karma that happens in this lifetime when those souls reincarnate. And a lot of the time when those souls reincarnate after these types of rituals, blood, sex, and adrenochrome rituals are done to them in past lifetimes, it creates that karmic loop back into like creating a lot of trauma, sexual trauma in this lifetime too. So I'm going to get a lot into that, and I have a lot more information that I do want to share on that topic when I get into this series. But I see that the liberation timeline with saving a lot of these innocent individuals in the underground tunnels and all that. So the clearing has happened. And what else got flagged out to me is that there has been a shortage of adrenochrome. So the shortage of adrenochrome is a really good thing, because that means that the white hats and the collective and the GFL are actually stepping in and helping liberate these tunnels, get these victims out. But with the shortage of adrenochrome, the elite reptilians, like, they're going through a withdrawal. Like, they're withdrawing from adrenochrome. Like, we're going to see maybe even some, like, reptilian figures we know, like, start acting really weird in 2026 because this component is becoming more scarce because those victims are being liberated. But a big reason why they started the wars in the last 5 years was because there was a lot of clearing going on. This is so fucked up, but I got this information directly last year. The reason that they started these wars was because to displace as many children as possible, to, like, take them in and ring them in for their adrenochrome rituals. Oh my God, it pisses me off so fucking much. But anyway, so that's why they started the wars, because they were running low on the component, and it all just comes down to the freaking trafficking. So this Epstein stuff doesn't even touch the deeper agenda of this all. Okay. So like I said, huge movement, even just behind the scenes, of clearing remaining underground tunnels. I only tap into this maybe 2 or 3 times a year because it is so intense. But this is just the latest information. So, like I said, there's a shortage, and there's gonna be a withdrawal with this component because they're not able to keep up. That's why they can't get away with starting another war to displace more and to displace and use them in the rituals. And a lot of the time, which is so upsetting, mostly this is done to starseeds. They can sense the essence of the soul, and they take high vibrational souls to do the rituals on. So it's disgusting, and I still hope that this whole operation is going to be revealed, especially in the next couple years, hopefully. Hopefully 2020. Yeah, if it's not 26, it's going to be 27 or 20. I mean, think about it. This is the core of the system. Like, in order to, like, expose this whole operation, like, it's going to take, like, a whole downfall of the old system, honestly. Like, I don't think they will deny this. Like, I have firsthand, like, no, like, what I've seen is horrific. That's all I'm saying. Okay. But like I said, like, just send love and light to anyone involved, and know that the process is still underway. Okay. So that's that. Okay, just a couple more predictions. Lots of information. So yeah. Okay. So this one is this is going to happen. Awakened individuals are going to begin receiving strong downloads of information to move to areas around vortexes, portals, and high-frequency off-grid areas. These energetic migration patterns are going to increase in 2026 and 2027, leading up to the solar flash and disclosure event that I'm about to get into. people are going to feel called to move really by soul guidance, higher guidance, to get to these areas for when this event is going to happen. So the awaken migration is connected to the buildup towards the larger solar flash and disclosure timeline. So this means a lot of awakened people are going to be getting out of cities, getting out of busy areas, and moving to portals and vortexes and high vibrational locations, preparation zones. So a lot of people are going to be called to move in 2026 and 2027, particularly the first half. And I've been even so interesting. I got that download because I was like, myself, I was told like to look into off-grid area. This was over a year ago. I was told to get off-grid middle to end of 2027. Don't know why. I didn't have the full timeline of information then, even like, this was a couple years ago now. But now it makes total sense. It's because we're meant to be in a high vibrational area to ring in like the start of like this, the higher timeline once it arrives. Like obviously I'm already consciously there. Like I'm already 3-4 years ahead of the collective. So I'm already in there, but I guess it's for like me to meet the reality and the physical to like be in a location for when everything unfolds in this physical reality. But spiritually, I'm already at the conscious levels of what's coming. So, but that being said, I'm definitely still considering an off-grid move middle to end of 2027, 100%, especially leading up to what I'm about to get into. So then I tapped into like disclosure. So 2026 2026 is going to be the final full year before disclosure. The window for disclosure opens. I got months, and like I said, like this can all shift, but this is the flash and disclosure window. I got between August of 2027 and what did I say? August of 2027 and December of 2028. So that's the timeline that the solar flare event and open contact disclosure will be unfolding. So that's going to arrive with that third wave of the awakening, which I touched upon in my last video. So once again, between August 2027 and December of 2028. So obviously, like I said, there could be a timeline shift, but it has been moved up because originally I was like, it's going to happen at any point between 26 and 2030. Or I'm sorry, I think the latest I said was 2030 of the solar flash. But what I got directly in dates as of December 2025, I got August of 2027 is the soonest, and I got the latest was December 2028. So once again, that being said, like we're leading up to the real event. So that's why it's just important to, in 2026, maybe invest in, stocking up on some extra food, or like I said, when the solar flash hits the grids that I'm talking about, this one isn't going to be like months and months. I saw only like a month most. So this one isn't going to be like, it's not going to be like the end of the world. This is just going to be enough to help that ascension, but then bring in that open contact. So that's that event that I've been channeling and remote viewing for a very long time. Okay. And then, so yes. So no disclosure 2026, honestly, just build up all the remaining systems falling. Like, yes, a lot of hidden information becoming released about this false matrix we live in, which I don't even need to get into half the stuff. Honestly, like it's just all such an illusion. Okay. Oh, one thing I actually missed, and then I'm just going to close with one last thing. I got a direct download of information when I was remote viewing. I got flagged out air travel, and I got air travel is going to have to undergo a major technological shift in 2026. I saw older planes and specifically are going to be getting phased out as they become incompatible with the raising frequency to fly in the solar flares. So there has actually been in 2025 planes impacted by these solar flares, older planes. So there's going to have to be a technology upgrade with commercial planes to fly and be able to like be hit by these cosmic radiation, these solar flares, right? So this is going to be something that mainstream will talk about in 2026, and they're going to have to phase out older aircraft and bring in new high vibrational, newer aircraft that can withstand flashes, because especially when that actual event happens, if we have old Earth aircrafts, like old Earth frequency aircrafts in the sky, when that thing hits, like a lot of the planes are going to just go down. And like, that's why I think mainstream actually has to take the solar flash really seriously and like get these planes upgraded. So like when the flash hits, like there won't be 100,000 planes falling at once, or how many planes fly. I mean, there's like several thousand planes that are probably flying in the air at once. So that's something that's going to be talked about a lot. So maybe getting older aircrafts out and getting in newer fleets of aircrafts that can actually withstand that frequency impact. More technological, like they're going to have to use planes that are actually like frequency wise, like operating in a way that can like actually still fly with those frequencies, right? Like it's actually really interesting, the download that I got. So, but that's going to be something. So there might be a lot of air travel issues, especially when it comes to localized blackouts with the flares in February, I think August, I said, and October. Those actually might cause some real issues then with air travel and just 2026 in general. So, obviously be mindful, there might be delays and just weird issues. Air travel in 2026 seems to be forced to go into some sort of transformation to be able to fly, especially leading up to 27 and 28 when the flashes are going to get wild. Like, yeah, there's going to be more than 3 solar flares in 2026, but they're going to be strong ones. And then 27 and 28, whenever that real one comes forward, these planes have to be like able to last that type of flash. So I think that's something that got flagged out to me. And then lastly, I saw specifically the end of 2026, specifically Q4 2026, so almost like a year from now, the 3D to 5D divide is going to become so visible, so obvious. We'll know like who's choosing the higher reality and who's staying in the lower reality. Obviously, there's still going to be people that awaken like with that third wave that might still be in the lower reality by the end of next year, but that they're going to be like the last ones to awaken. People are going to be consciously choosing between the old systems and higher frequency realities. So light workers are going to begin to publicly step into their roles, and light workers, starseeds, right, are going to begin to publicly step into their roles and guide the collective. And I saw that the last 3 months of 2026 in particular are going to be when like starseeds and light workers begin to actually get like legit recognition. And people who are guiding this conscious shift. So that's significant. But with that's wow, that's like all the predictions that I have. So many that I wrote down. This video was over an hour. This is my longest video ever. Whoa. Okay, I'm looking at the time and I'm going to wrap this up. But with that, I hope, everybody has a relaxing rest of December. I know this year's been, 2025 is overall just like weird, honestly. Like, I kind of vibed more with 2024, but this year was weird. It's a weird in-between. So I'm hoping next year we shift from in-between to more that new, right? That 26, 27, 28 is going to be that new emerging, that new anchoring. So I'm kind of happy to get out of 2025. And we'll ultimately, all make it through this shift together. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this long remote viewing 2026 video. Lots of information. So if you watched all the way through, I really do appreciate that. And I have one more video lined up for the end of this month when I'm out in Joshua Tree. But with that, I'm still lining up like a lot of my January and February content. I haven't really gotten all those videos down yet, but I will very soon. Sending you all so much love and light. And I will see you guys in the next video.